Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I'm John Kapora, managing editor of magic.tcgplayer.com, and I'm fresh off a weekend full of World Championship action. These are the cards people bought over last week and the weekend, and if you watch Worlds 2, a lot of these cards are going to look familiar. Conley Woods has been streaming with an exciting Marionette Master deck that takes advantage of Treasure Map and the treasure it creates to win games out of nowhere. A repeatable Scry 1 has always been an underrated ability, and flipping into 3 treasures can be gangbusters in the right deck. Hostage Taker is a uniquely powerful card. World's competitors weren't able to find the right shell to accommodate it, but it's only a matter of time until someone finds the right mid-range deck to slot in Hostage Taker. The card is simply too good. Walk the Plank is new removal at a low price point. It sees play in a couple of decks, but it doesn't really do anything about the heavy hitters of Standard. Those would be Hazaret the Fervent and the Scarab God. Throw in the fact that it's sorcery speed, and that should be plenty of reason to look elsewhere for removal. Search for Azcanta had a huge weekend, and Field of Ruin is the perfect tech to fight off Azcanta the Sunken Ruin. Field of Ruin isn't the kind of card you can throw into Ramanap Red or Temur Energy, but it slots perfectly into the new deck of the weekend, Blue-Black Control. Tokens is more of a broad archetype in Standard. There are just lots of different ways you can build it. One of the lists floating around the interwebs features Legion's Landing, which is easy to transform into a Danto the First for it, thanks to all the tokens. From there, you've got yourself a lifelink token machine. There's a card in Ixalan that takes care of both Hazaret and the Scarab God, plus Chandra, Torch of Defiance, Nicol Bolas, God Pharaoh, and more. Vraska's Contempt is a great catch-all for all the craziness Standard decks can throw at you. There's some hidden utility in Deathgorge Scavenger. It allows you to get rid of the Scarab God permanently. Just destroy the Scarab God with a removal spell and then attack with your Deathgorge Scavenger. It'll exile the Scarab God before it returns to your opponent's hand on the end step. It's still a 3-2 for 3, but that's a pretty cool interaction, right? Anyone? No? Alright. Unclaimed Territory has yet to make a splash in competitive Magic, but its appearance on this list serves as a lesson. Never underestimate the power of casuals. Casual players love tribal decks, and Unclaimed Territory is a cheap way to make them work. It works so well, in fact, that Unclaimed Territory is one of the best-selling cards of the whole time Ixalan's been released. Search for Azcanta, it's not a very fun word to say, had a big weekend at Worlds, fueling a whole new archetype, the Blue-Black Control deck, all by itself. When it flips into Azcanta the Sunken Ruin, the card advantage is too much for opponents to handle and can lead to an insurmountable avalanche of win. The best-selling card, though, is Opt. It's definitely cheap, both price and mana-wise, and it impacts both deck building and gameplay, giving its controller more choices to impact the game. Cards like Opt are good for Standard, and I'm glad it exists. That's all for this week, but we do one of these every Monday, so stay tuned for all the card-selling goodness. In the meantime, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Pros like Seth Manfield and Craig Wesco make videos all the time, and you don't want to miss those. See you next time.